What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Further North. Today, we're going to dive in to the Alastair Clarkson effect, or my perspective on what Clarkson is doing for this football club. The media's trashed him. Fans have trashed him. Other fans have loved him. And now the media is weirdly turning. And I think it's an interesting dynamic to talk about. Everything these days in the media needs to be you're completely for or completely against. And if you're not one of those, no one listens to you. For those watching on YouTube, please subscribe. It helps me a lot. Like the video and leave a comment. What's your stance on Clarkson? It's hard to not like him right now after the Carlton game and such an important win for the football club. But were you one of the people that sort of doubted him and now is turning? Do you still doubt him? Have you always been on board? Give me your thoughts, because I'm so interested to see how different people think about this sort of stuff. Let's dive into it. So I started this pod the same year that Alastair Clarkson signed for the club. And when they posted his old shinboner number on the North Melbourne page, I couldn't believe it. Not that I knew that that was his number, but I knew what was happening. It felt big, and I knew Clarkson was coming. There was heaps of speculation. We were in the running with Essendon and the Giants and other teams like that, and we got the job done, right? An ex-North Melbourne player. His love for the place brought him back. His words, I love it. We've got this guy, 4 premierships, the best coach of the modern era. You can argue someone else, but surely it's him. And it felt like a turning point for us. And at this point, when I'm recording this video, he's been here 2.5 years. But one of those years was taken away, basically. So you got to sort of write that one off. And I work at a barbershop called Black and Brown. If you want a haircut in Chat North, that is where to go. It's in Mitcham. Jump on the website. You can request me. But a lot of people who come into the barbershop, not North fans specifically, but just footy fans in general, a lot of footy chat going on in there, sort of say, how is he not improving it yet? It's got to turn because Clarkson's there. Why isn't it? Maybe he doesn't have it anymore. The old dog can't be taught new tricks, all that sort of stuff. And when I thought about this, I'm like, well, he's only really had 1.5 years to turn around one of the worst lists we've ever seen. Genuinely, one of the worst lists that we've ever seen. You know, there's an upcoming interview I've got with Danny from Hawks Insiders to preview the game. And we talk about, and we dive into it more in depth in that. So please stay tuned for that. But he talked about when Clarkson came in, the cull that happened. And it took a couple of seasons to just gut this place and get all of the stale wood out of the Hawks and turn it around and create a winning environment. So I'm going to name the list that Alastair Clarkson took over. This was the list from 2022, just before that Clarkson inherited, just before he took over, right? And let's see if these guys are around still. And this might paint a picture of the cull that we have had to do up until this point to start seeing improvement. Because I think this year, in 2025, halfway through the year, North has improved so much. And I know you look at the ladder, we're still near the bottom, but it's about the wins, the way we play them, the numbers as well in our defensive ability. We are turning, and it's not going to be quick. If one more person tells me it's going to turn quick, settle down. But here's the list, right? Jack Marnie, gone. Jaden Stevenson, gone. Jed Anderson, gone. Aiden Core, still there. Curtis Taylor, gone. Horn Francis, gone. Zeeble, gone. Bailey Scott, Luke Davies, Uniac, they're still there. Cunnington, retired. Elmac, Simkin, Polek, Atu Bozavalagi, Aidan Bonner, Lockie Young, just going down in number order here. All these are gone. Hugh Greenwood, Josh Walker, Nick Larkey's still there. Callum Coleman-Jones, Todd Goldstein, Ben Mackay, Tom Powell, Paul Curtis, Taron Thomas, Miller Bergman, Kane Turner, Will Phillips, Charlie Comben, Josh Goda, Jacob Edwards, Patrick Walker, I didn't even remember, Jackson Archer, Charlie Lazaro, Phoenix Spicer, Kyron Hayden, Tristan Sherry, Flynn Perez, Eddie Ford, Matt McGuinness, Callum Dawson, Aaron Hall, Cam Zerha, and Tom Lynch with a little asterisk there, okay? So in his just over 2 years that he's coached, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's have a look here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 people have been turned over since he started, okay? This takes time. You can't get rid of that many people, and there's still more to turn over. Not heaps now. That floor at North has been raised, right? It's risen. I don't think we've got as many passengers now. When you look at your Flynn Perez's and your Phoenix Spices and your Jack Marnies, what did he have to work with there? Jack Marnie was number 1. That's crazy. Okay. The first team lineup he ever fielded was McDonald, Logue, Bonner, Scott, Zeeble, Gota in the back line, Shields, Cunnington, Simpkin through the middle with Sherry, LDU, and Kane Turner starting as a follower. Curtis, Comben, and Zerhaz, Sheasel, Larkey, Curtis, Taylor in the forward line, with the bench being Jaden Stevenson, Hugh Greenwood, Tom Powell, Miller Bergman, and Will Phillips as the substitute. So the turnover that has been happening is out of control. Where was this list at 2022? So in came Griffin Logue, Darcy Tucker. He brought those guys across with some help from an AFL assistance package, which really wasn't that helpful for us, to be fair, because the picks were so compromised with all the father-son stuff. Everyone thinks we got these crazy first rounders. We didn't. But anyway, we had to trade those picks. I think it was a second round pick and a third round pick. The first rounder came when we got rid of Mackay. But look, Griffin Logue, Darcy Tucker came in. We also got pick 1, 3, 40, and 43, which obviously 2 and 3 were Sheasel and Wardlaw. So he drafted Sheasel and Wardlaw, bringing in Logue, who's still in this side. I know he's been a bit up and down, but he's in this side. Tucker, unfortunately, season-ending injury, probably not going to make it. Getting rid of Jason Horne-Francis. That's another thing that he has done. This is all part of the cult, okay? We brought in some other picks, which turned out to be whatever, but that is a significant change. 2023, right, after his first season being there, not really being there, but his first season as a whole with North Melbourne, out Todd Goldstein. That was the Ben Mackay one. So Ben Mackay out, bringing in pick 3 that year for that, with how the AFL structure works. If you don't understand that one yet, please look up why we got pick 3. Don't just assume the AFL gave it to us like everyone does. Dylan Stevens comes in that one. Zach Fisher comes in as well. These are players that are playing in our team right now. This is the turnover that we're seeing. Goldstein, a legend, but an older legend who needed to give that chance to Sherry. You know, Ben Mackay hasn't done much. Stevens and Fisher, they're playing, right? Biggie Newen as well. Didn't last, is what it is. Still big. And then Jack Darling, Luke Parker and Constanti, Caleb Daniel coming in as well. These sort of picks, you know, look at the draft picks as well. Colby and Zane Dersma hopefully turns into a fantastic player, you know. And there's deeper players than that. There's Will Dawson's and there's Taylor Goads and, you know, so many other guys, Whitlocks and things like that. I can't name them all, but you can see the turnover that he's done. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, the culture that he's made, right? Tearing the walls down on the inside of the club and knowing everybody's name. Charlie Common did an interview in the paper today where the media's been punishing this guy and talking about him so negatively for headlines and for clicks. We know how they operate. And understand, Clarkson is a big name. So if you put his name on the front of your paper, people are probably going to pick it up. If you put his name, his face in an article online, people are going to click on it. And like I said, this world is you have to be incredibly negative or incredibly positive, okay? Clarkson's getting praise right now, and he should. And good that the media does that, right? But you can't treat someone so poorly a couple of months ago and then turn around and I'm going to read the article headline in here, right? Clarko coaching masterstroke, no one even noticed. Well, you didn't notice it because you weren't watching. And I don't expect everyone to watch North Melbourne games. I watch them every week. But does everybody else know? Does the media? No, they don't. But they have these massive opinions. And I just hate how they're flipping it now. You watch them call him a genius this week. And in the podcast that we reviewed, the Carlton game, I started off by saying, this is Clarkson. We talk about the players and all these great things they do, and absolutely we should. But people forget to praise Clarkson. People forget to talk about Clarkson. And it's funny that I did that on Sunday morning, and now on Monday there's articles about it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they listen to the pod or anything. I'm just saying my more neutral, I'm biased to North, but like not in a very objective way where I think I can see the good and the bad that's coming and not act overly emotionally. And some fans can, some fans can't. And that's okay both ways. But Clarkson has been turning this club around. I read all the list changes and the team he had to start with and some of the moves he's made. That's the start. He said at the best and fairest dinner last season that he finally believes there's a list here that we can build a game plan around. And by round 6, we're saying, where's our identity? It needs time to build this. We're going to need this season. We're probably going to need next season. And that's okay as long as there's progression every single year. More draft picks, more trades, more culling of the list, bringing in guys that raise the floor. The ceiling is there. We've seen it in patches. We should have beat Carlton by 8 goals. We smashed the Ds. That's our ceiling, and that's unbelievable football. But you need to raise that floor so we don't have those drop-offs, and he's doing it. So I'm glad he's getting praise. You look at our record in the last few weeks, the last 6 games, we've won 3, drawn 1, and lost 2. We've got a winning record in the last 6 games. That's crazy. It doesn't feel like it, but that's crazy. The last 6 to 8 weeks is what we should absolutely take, And I said after the Gold Coast game and after the Collingwood game, we were in those games at 3-quarter time, and I think that's way more important to take away than how it finished, because those 3 quarters mean more to North Melbourne and our progression than the last quarter does. The last quarter doesn't set us back. The 3 quarters in those games, the first 3 quarters set us up, and I love that. And I think it's good that I've got those opinions, and hopefully you guys listening to the pod and everything can understand where I'm coming from. I know I rev some people up. And in the comments, people are saying, you're crazy, mate. We're rubbish. We haven't improved at all. A week or 2 ago against West Coast, after a win, people were saying we haven't improved. We don't have any game plan. We're rubbish. I bet those same fans now are feeling different. And there's so much work to do. I'm not saying we're here, but he's going to take us there. I'm not saying he's going to be our premiership coach, but this guy is going to set our club up for sustained success. Look at Richmond fans. Does any Richmond fan think about Brett Deledio? Absolutely not. They think about Dustin Martin, Trent Cotchin, Jack Riewoldt. If we win a premiership in the 2030s, no one's going to remember that we were bad for 10 years through the 2020s. And hopefully it's quicker than that. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but I'm just saying it as a way to think about it. And I've always said he's rebuilding a club, not a list. And that doesn't take 2, 3, even 4 years. That takes a little bit longer. But when we get there, I think it's going to be great because I can see the building blocks he's putting in place. If it doesn't run off the field, it won't run on the field. Everyone agrees with that. Lastly, Clarkson's come under so much pressure from the media when they say, North's been rubbish for 6 years. Clarkson isn't turning them around. He hasn't been there for 6 years. So let's just chill out on that, okay? That's such a stupid way that people get paid to make articles and write stories. We're phrasing it. It's just so ridiculous. So anyway, I might leave it there. I don't want it to go too long. But the Alastair Clarkson effect is in full effect at North Melbourne. And even if we lose the next couple of games by, 3-4 goals, it doesn't mean that we're not improving. We're in games now. We're not getting blown out. I trust we're not going to get smashed. The Hawks this week is a massive one because they have the potential to blow us out. Down in Tassie, last time it was an absolute bloodbath. But I think, Clarkson being there, getting things out of Toby Pink and Constanti and Dylan Stevens. These sort of guys are contributors, valuable contributors now. And that's the floor getting raised. So get behind Clarkson. This guy's going to do it. He's going to get us to a point where we can really compete. I don't know if he's our premiership coach, but once again, whoever he trains up to be our coach, I trust him. You got Fagan, you got McRae. I'm not going to name all of them. Hardwick, I think, was there too. There's so many under this guy. He's a teacher. He's a mentor. The players love him. We're competing. We're getting that shin bonus spirit back. So stick with this guy. I love him, and he's going to turn this club around. Even if he's not our premiership coach, we're going to look at this and say Clarkson turned this thing around. So thank you for listening, guys. Get behind the Clarkson revolution, baby. North ball all the way. Please subscribe, like the video, share it around. All that stuff helps me so much. And we'll be back to preview the Hawks game coming up soon.